All right, but we are live. This is our second season, episode 21, the Sunday show. Arsenal 3, Everton 2, and we are all checking our hearts right now. I know I am. Richard, thanks for joining me once again.
Yeah, thank you for the invite, Ray, as always, and thank you, and hello to everybody else.
Alex from Cannon Fodder TV, thanks for joining.
Always a pleasure to be in Arsenal fan circle. Always a pleasure.
And me, I'll meet the co-host down there, Matt here. Gunda News. Go check them out. Check all three of these folks out on YouTube if you haven't already. Mahir is Gunda News, Alex is Cannon Fodder TV, and Richard is Arsenal TV. Check them out. Listen.
And my hair looks like Gunnosaurus.
Mahir, let's go to you first then, Mahir. Are you feeling a little bit green behind the gills after that game?
This is where the magic happens, guys. A lot of the background you see is exactly where the magic happens. And like, what can I say? Really? We all nearly had heart attacks. I mean,
Yeah.
woo! Man needs to go take a shower. Man's hot after that.
3-2. Richard, 3-2. And I think the difference today was our strikers, that they just proved the difference.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the team selection, I actually got 9 right out of the 11. And I personally would have played Lacazette for this game, but I can understand why he went with Nketiah because of the type of player that he is. He's the type of player that likes to stay in that 6-yard box, sort of, stay in that sort of area and wait for his opportunity to come. But I think the first half of that game, it wasn't really. We were on the ascendancy. We was we was the more confident team to come out. But the first minute when Everton scored their first goal, sloppy defending from set pieces, and this is what Mikel Arteta needs to fix. I think if we can get that right, I think we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
It was
Alex,
just the set pieces that let us down.
Yeah, Alex, your 1 minute preview of the whole game.
Yeah, before I give my thoughts, can I give a quick shout out to Elto, the original Godfather? He did actually offer me a ticket to go see the game today, but I wasn't feeling toward this afternoon. So Elto, what's happening? Yeah, listen, when I started my my live stream, I actually missed the first goal. The first part I saw was David Luiz huddling the players together, and I actually sent a message to Stan the man, and he said to me, "No, we're 1-0 down." I thought, what? And when I saw the small replay, I saw Kolasinac actually, huddling with Yeremina. I'm thinking, just hold your position. And if he had ran, he would have been offside. But again, it's just old habits, really, really dying hard there. But again, the slow build up again got us in that position there. But I don't think that the difference wasn't our strikers, right? I think the difference was the whole team played together as a team. They were fighting for the cause. Back to the wall stuff.
Yeah.
It was a whole team effort. You could say maybe Leno was man of the match, maybe Saka again with 10 assists. It was a whole team effort. You can't single one player out. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Mahir, give me your 1 minute review of the whole game.
Yeah, man. Like Alex is just saying now, the way we fought for each other, it was flipping beautiful. I mean, all round. Even our keeper can clearly be man of the match. We will discuss that, but like for me, clearly just because Leno, I know he fumbled I think it was the second goal for Everton. I know he could have done much better, but he made 3 world-class saves that kept us in. That goal that Aubameyang scored straight after halftime, he kept that goal safe, basically, and just gave it his all. And I mean,
Ray, can I just quickly come on to what Mahir said about Leno and the second goal that we gave away there? I thought it wasn't Leno's fault. I again, I blame the defense because when the ball is cleared, the defenders, they just stayed static rather than trying to get out. They played all the players there on side. So I thought it's down to drilling the players, because if there's a second wave of the ball, all the players should have been out. Any balls that came in the area, Leno would have safely gathered. But because we were so deep, he stood no chance. So I don't blame Leno for the second goal. I blame the defense. But I just wanted to say
I love
that.
that we all have different opinions. You know what? I saw that maybe could have convinced me that it might have been Leno. That it went through his legs, though. It looked like he had it in his hands. But I think there was a little bit of extra bounce or something. I think it went through his legs.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of the Ozil goal last week, in that it was mishit, and the goalkeeper wasn't able to judge the flight of the ball perfectly, and it squeezed in.
No, I think he was more concerned about the boot, because the attacker's boot was quite close to his face. Yeah, like he kind of took his eyes with the ball. I mean, I would have probably done the same thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well, Alex, because both the Everton goals had a touch of that going on, with the boot close to the head as well. What did my take from the team selection? So I was actually quite happy with the team selection, because I'm writing copious notes here, and one of my notes says, if you don't loan Nketiah out, then you must play him and give him a run in the team to see if he can be of use to us later in the season. So I was quite happy to have Nketiah in the team. Obviously, Kolasinac in for Saka. You have to rest the kid at some point, but obviously I would have wanted Saka to be in from the start. So, Alex, your team selection, what were you thinking when the team was announced?
To be honest, I was fairly happy with the team selection. I was thinking he hasn't played Saka because he's probably jaded from the game against Olympiacos midweek there. With Nketiah, I thought you cannot pull him out. You've got to give this guy a chance. Give him a good run in the team, and he's returned the favour back, hasn't he, by scoring a goal there? Although he should have had a second goal. But for me personally, I was very, very happy with the starting 11 there. Really, really happy.
Richard, your thoughts on the team selection?
Yeah, I was happy with the team selection. I was happy that Mikel Arteta went with Ceballos instead of Torreira, because I felt that when we play Ceballos, it gives Mesut Ozil the freedom in front. Whereas when we play Torreira, Ozil sort of has to come back. I didn't really want Mikel Arteta to be too defensive-minded with this game, because I knew how Everton was going to play. They would try and hit us on the counter. Every time they get the possession, hit us on the counter. I was not happy with Kolasinac playing. I would have still played Saka as a starting 11. I would have played him. Mm-hmm. I honestly went with Lacazette, because I thought that this would have been a good game to boost up his confidence. His hold-up play might have been ideal to, let Aubameyang and Pepe to cut inside to get in behind the Everton's defence. But overall, I'm happy with the selection that Mikel Arteta went with.
Yeah, Glenn, I'm going to come to you next. Thanks for joining us, Glenn. Your thoughts on the team selection?
Hi, guys. The team selection, I was talking to Alex the other day, and we were talking about how the midfield is supposed to be solid for Everton. Everton and Newcastle are not the same opponents. So I was quite shocked that Ceballos and Ozil both started, but as it turned out, Ceballos was awesome today. So apart from that, expected Lacazette to start ahead of Nketiah, because I think we'd all agree Everton is a better opponent than Olympiacos. So I would probably have put Lacazette for this one. But as it turned out, everything worked so well.
And Mahir, team selection for you.
Okay, basically, I was surprised that Saka didn't start and Kolasinac started. But then again, beautiful points that you guys bring up. They do need rest. I was again surprised that Eddie Nketiah started over somebody like Martinelli. Martinelli wasn't even on the bench. But rest is needed, guys. We've talked about burnout before. We know the effects of burnout. Generally in life, burnout. And then I love the combination, the double pivot, as you guys know I'm famously for, of Danny Ceballos and Ozil. Richard, you brought some tears to my eyes. Yes, it gives Ozil the freedom to do what he does, which is be a creator.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't surprised that Lacazette was dropped, because again, we've spoken about this before. Over the years, players have become so complacent that they're thinking that they have a divine right to be on the starting 11. And with Lacazette, because he's had such a barren period there, I didn't want him to start in this game, because he must fight for his place there. He's got to fight for his place, and like now he knows that it could be. I'm not going to say that Nketiah is ahead of him, but there's a smaller group now of players where they're fighting for that position. I did not want to see Lacazette play today. Start him on the bench, make him more hungry to start, fight for his place, and start scoring goals. But yeah, I wasn't happy. I was not surprised that he did not start today.
Yeah. I thought he would have gone on later, but we'll talk about that later. I was some of my notes say nervous. Bring on Laka. But shout out to Arsenio Wonka, Stan the Man, Lumberg Cam, anyone else in the chats. Tony Turner, big up yourself, and Harry Robinson. So big up to everybody in the panel. Stan says this is a hell of a panel today. So great. Arsenio Wanga, it is the time of the season where fatigue creeps up, so maybe Arteta is making these kinds of decisions now to help us in the final months leading up to the end of the season. And Richard, I think that's a very good point. We don't have a game next weekend.
No, we don't, because we've got Olympiacos on Thursday, and then we are in the FA Cup on Monday against
and a
Portsmouth.
postponed game with Manchester City next weekend. They're playing the cup final. So we've got one more game this week, and then then the team will get a break. So Alex, a good time to rotate the team.
Yeah. I think now we've kind of identified we have a bigger group, a bigger squad now, where Arteta can pick and choose. But again, we've got to be mindful to pick players who are on form, not buy on their reputation. But I think it's a good opportunity for him to rotate the squad of players now. And a big shout out to Sabias. I thought he had a blinder today. He played really well.
Yeah.
Really well.
All right. Mahir, we're going to get to set piece defending and that first goal that we conceded. What happened? like many juniors, I was just getting settled into the team.
Look, I honestly don't know. Sometimes I just think it's a lapse, man. Like sometimes if we switch off too soon. I don't know if you guys saw there was this one corner that was taken very quickly. I think it was in the dying moments of the game. It was taken so quickly, and for a moment this game could have easily been drawn. Yeah. And that just put everybody into a state of panic. I mean, I was thinking to myself, not again. Not after this run of form that we've been having, and not after having been told by so many people that, even myself, I personally said, we're not going to make top 4. We're not going to make top 6. This may prove as an advantage. And guess what? Now suddenly we're in a conversation. We're not that far off.
Yeah. And I would direct everybody's attention to the bottom of the screen, the form table. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But David Luiz does not deal with an aerial ball, Glenn. Free kick, and the ball goes up into the air. Calvert Lewin. I've struggled with his name all afternoon. Calvert Lewin hooks the ball into the net, Glenn. Can you hear me, Glenn?
Frozen? Yeah.
Go.
It was quite surprising to see us conceding set pieces because we've been actually good at defending them this season, the entire season. But I would say most of them are not like a powerful header or something. It was just like lucky bounces and stuff for both goals. But I would say Luiz and Mustafi didn't quite have probably the worst game in the last 5 games they've played, probably the worst performance so far. And who else? For the corners, yeah, as I've said, and quite unlucky with the corners.
Yeah. Richard, you and I were talking about the predicted score, and we
Yeah.
both picked 2-1 because we knew Arsenal probably couldn't maintain this sequence of not conceding goals. It was just too Arsenal maybe to concede a goal, and Everton are a decent team.
Yeah.
What did you think about the set piece defending today?
I think we just fell asleep. We literally just fell asleep. We wasn't looking at where the ball was coming in from. I don't think David Luiz was looking at his man that he was supposed to be marking. He just let him, sort of get past him. But yeah, I just think we just fell asleep, and I think Mikel Arteta needs to fix it in terms of our set piece in defending. We need to fix it.
Yeah, Richard, Alex, there's definitely going to be plenty of tape there to look to consume for the defenders to look at what they've been doing there on that goal.
Yeah, but that's why I said literally we've got to take it on a game by game basis. Let's not take our eye off the ball. I know now people are thinking, well, now we are in the ascendancy. Top four is within our grasp. No. Let's just look at the game, actually the job in hand. The defending still needs a lot of work. The midfield at times lost control. So, the defense, it still needs a lot of drills. And as well, I know, again, I didn't see the actual first goal, but on the snippets I saw, could have been a call for a dangerous play where the guy actually, was it an overhead kick?
Robert Lewin,
Yeah.
he kind of hooks the ball. It's an overhead kick. He hooks it into the top corner.
Yeah, so I think we're kind of unlucky because I'm sure if it had been any other team, I think maybe it could have been called for dangerous play. But
not only that, another gripe that I had with that, Len, was that Kolasinac was being pushed into the penalty box, by a player to play the rest of the team onside for that free kick.
Yeah, that was Yeremina, but I thought Kolasinac was also pushing him and pulling, so that wasn't the thing. The thing was that Luiz overhead kick from.
I got my rose-tinted glasses on. And we'll talk about my rose-tinted glasses a little bit later with Richarlison and stuff like that.
Okay.
Mahir. So the first goal, a bad start for Arsenal. What are you thinking at that point? We just need to pick it up and start again. We know we're always capable of scoring a goal.
We're not playing badly. We're not playing terribly. We're defensive. We're playing. It's just these small, minuscule, really stupid and rash decisions that get made by defenders that leave us susceptible to either a counter-attack or a very poorly defended set piece. And this is what happens. Like we're saying, you sleep for 1 minute, you give them a yard, they'll take a mile and they'll put it in the back of the net. And before you know it, you're 1-0 down or 2-0 down. It's nothing new.
So we have to pick up, Richard, we have to pick up the pace. Everton were on top of us for about 15 or 20 minutes, but then we start to get into the game. And unfortunately, Kolasinac got injured in the 14th minute. Saka comes on. And within 10 minutes, he's affected the game already with the Nketiah goal.
Yeah, the thing what surprises me not surprises me, but it was an absolute brilliant delivery from Saka. He had it inch perfect for Nketiah to catch it on the volley. Absolute pinch perfect. And I couldn't have asked it for anything better. That's 10 assists this season. Unbelievable. We need to tie him down because there is teams going to be after him. Give him what he wants. Give him what he wants. Because I know he would be better further forward, but he's making that position his. And Kolasinac and Tierney, you are going to find it hard to take him out of the squad.
Yeah.
Really, really hard.
Well, Richard, I also noticed Nketiah scoring that goal, he was calling somebody as well. Perhaps his agent. So Saka can call his agent, so can Eddie. My hero, a fantastic goal with Saka. He just keeps producing the goods, that kid.
Keeps game in, game out. This is the thing about the youngsters. Their energy levels and the intensity. They want this so bad. They want to see our team going further and progressing till we get into a cup competition, till we win a cup competition, till we get into something like I think they really so badly want to get back into Champions League by any means.
Yeah, Alex, a few superlatives about Saka, if you will.
Energetic. Better than Bellerin.
Better than Kolasinac. And it looks like Kolasinac may be injured pretty badly as well. We're going to get the reports on him. But his arm went off in a brace. Not just his arm, but his whole body.
I guess it was a blessing in disguise, wasn't it? Because if he had not gone off, I guess Saka would have provided the assist for Nketiah. But I wish him speedy recovery. But just take your time, Kolasinac. Just take your time. Take your time, mate.
Yeah, Glenn, Saka, that assist was inch perfect. He plays a perfect cross, and he seems to be able to measure the cross perfectly to where the striker needs it on a sixpence.
Yeah, it doesn't mess around. And as Richard has said, it's 10 assists actually from left back, not even left wing. He's moving like Trent and Robertson and the rest. And the moment he came in, I was actually very happy. That shows you how good he really is, because most of the Arsenal fans were happy for him to come in. And the confidence right now, he doesn't mess around, he doesn't joke around, gets the ball, crosses, gets a chance to shoots the ball left or right. So really, really good. We need to tie him down pretty quickly. And for Kolasinac, I would say, was it really a freak injury, or did he overcommit himself? I don't know how to judge that one.
Yeah, it's difficult when you're launching yourself to your left. You're kind of at the will of gravity, Alex, when you hit the ground. Gravity kind of takes over.
There's no getting away from gravity, is there?
We haven't started playing games on Mars yet, so.
But you know what? The way I looked at it, Kolasinac didn't have to go in the way he did for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It didn't need to go in the way he did. He just thought, look, let me just throw my body at it.
Yeah, perhaps
there was no need to
for his spot as well. This is competition will engender these kind of things as well.
Yeah.
Let's get to the what I call a cavalier goal, rip roaring finish, Henry-esque. Richard, great pass from David Luiz. Aubameyang bends his run a little bit, just runs inside between the lines of the defenders. He's clear out on goal, and he has to finish from there, right?
Yeah, to be honest, it was Aubameyang's movement as well. He knew that where David Luiz had the ball, he knew where David Luiz was going to place it, straight through the midfield, straight through. It's the gap that Everton left, straight through, and the ball went straight through the defence as well. It was literally straight like a strike, really straight down the middle, and it was very iconic the way Henry would have took that. Very, very iconic, and it's like he when he placed it into that far bottom corner. Brilliant. I just wish that Aubameyang was 10 years younger, because if he was 10 years younger, I've got no doubt in my mind that he would beat Henry's record. No doubt in my mind he would. He's another player we need to tie down as well.
Yeah. Alex, that strikes me, just speaking about it in the last couple of minutes, that may have been a rehearsed move, that Arteta may have identified something there with that fullback, David Luiz and Aubameyang, or what maybe Pepe on the other side.
It's funny you should say it, because I was thinking the same thing, Ray. When I saw, because Aubameyang, he ran, he took a couple steps in the line, then he ran along the line, and then as the ball was being played through, he ran onto the ball. But there was still a lot of work to be done. He beat the defense, but he still had to beat the goalkeeper. And like you say, I just kind of had a funny feeling maybe that was something that they've rehearsed many a times, and it was well executed. Fantastic goal.
How did it feel in the stadium when that goal went in?
Oh, well, I didn't go to the game.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I wasn't feeling well. I was at home.
You did say
I
that
wish I was, Ray.
earlier. Just pretend. You take it.
No, but fantastic goal. And is that 17 goals in the Premier League or 16?
Yeah, joint top scorer with Jamie Vardy.
We've already now.
Yeah.
Glenn,
Fantastic.
that Henry-esque type goal. Would be called an Obama-esque goal.
Yeah, and as Richard has said, he would have gotten to that Henry record. I believe that too, because it's 49 goals in just over 70 games. That is clinical, because this has been, since he came in, we haven't been the greatest team. We've been actually dropping. So actually getting to score in a poor team, that's another thing. And for the Luis pass, I don't really think the likes of Socrates would have picked that pass. So that's why I always say Luis should be a midfielder, because that pass was really good. And another thing, Aubameyang had Nketiah to his right, but he was never going to pass that ball. That's a clinical finisher.
All right, Mahir, I'm coming to you next. You're having your evening snack there. The sweet taste of victory, Mahir.
Oh, that's good. That's really, really, really good. Beautiful. That's why you have somebody like David Luiz, who's able, with all of his experience, to actually pick out a pinpoint pass. Like you can see Aubameyang running, that Aubameyang is cutting along the wing. You can see if I push this ball through, Aubameyang's clear on goal. Clearly, he's on goal.
Yeah.
Then there should always be a backup. But I mean, what a cool finish! Seriously, what a cool finish! And even that goal by, Eddie Nketiah. Oh my days! What was that? That was very Henry-esque. No, Henry-esque or Bergkamp-esque.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say, guys? Seriously.
Completely. I just want to back up on my notes here. I want to say before the Nketiah goal, my notes say we need to get the bit between our teeth, and we certainly did that with 2 quick-fire goals, the 27th minute and I think 32nd minute, with Aubameyang scoring. We're 2-1 up. Glenn, 2-1 up, heading towards halftime.
And that Luis pass was with his left foot, not even his right foot. So I was happy with the response from conceding the goal. I mean, if it was under Emre conceding the first goal, the crowd would have been against them, the whole team. But I wasn't really worried after conceding. I knew we would still get some goals. The problem was if we concede another one. So before halftime, I was hoping we would try and add another one. We had the momentum, so I was hoping we'd get the third one, because I knew Everton are really attacking teams. So we were actually very lucky not to concede 3 or 4.
And Glenn, that's the problem, Glenn. With Arsenal, you still feel that we needed another goal to shut out the game. It's never over until it's truly over, is it, with Arsenal?
Yeah, exactly. We kept let's trust the defense.
Glenn at 3-2, no? I was thinking to myself, if we can just push in one more goal, by any means necessary, just get a goal instead of playing backwards, parking the bus, as per se. Because with us, Alex, Richard, you guys, I'm sure you guys are very informed of this, but even at the 3-0 up for us isn't safe.
Yeah.
Even with 3 goals, it's not safe against any team.
You over-exaggerate a little bit.
Southampton, Norwich, any team, it's not safe.
Yeah. And that's why. Sorry, Ray. Glenn, I know you put a tweet out that now is not the time for Martinelli. I would far rather put on another forward than a defensive midfielder or another because you're inviting pressure on. You're inviting pressure on. Exactly. We're already under pressure. The best form of defense is attack, especially with these group of players. So I know he tried to freshen up the defense by putting on Guendouzi and Torreira, but you're inviting pressure on rather than trying to force the opponents back. But
yeah, what I meant was Martinelli wasn't actually on the bench today. But even if he was on the bench, who would you have brought him in for? Maybe Nketiah, because Aubameyang was defending really well, and I wouldn't want to bring Martinelli and Aubameyang to the right, because we saw again.
Yeah.
Glenn, going to that what you just said, if that was the case, I would have took Nketiah off, moved Aubameyang up top, and then have Martinelli out on that left hand side. That's what if he was on there. But then again, you think about it, as Alex just said, that when you bring on another defensive midfielder, you're basically saying to them, we're taking our foot off the gas. We're going to let you now counter-attack us. That's not the way to go. The best form of defense is attack. So what you need to do, instead of bringing on another defensive midfielder, should have brought Lacazette on.
Yeah.
Because Lacazette can, with his hold-up play, he can slow it down. And then what Everton do, they will push higher up to stop us from getting in behind.
But you know what, Richard? You know, the funny thing is, if Arteta was on this podcast now, he would say, what are you talking about? Because we won. We got the 3 points.
Yeah.
And this is it. But yeah, I think for me, when you change the pace of the game and you put a defensive midfielder on, like you said, Richard, you're telling the opponent, yeah, come on to us. You know, we're not going to it.
You're seeing.
But the only thing is, Al, that's what we done. We took our foot off the gas.
Yeah.
We took our foot off the gas and didn't go for another goal. Yeah, I know Nketiah had the chance of getting the second goal, but he just hit the crossbar, which was very unlucky.
Yeah.
We also have to take into account we needed to take off Ozil and Ceballos. They were probably tired, so you wouldn't take off a midfielder for a striker.
Tina Turner has just finished the concert. Welcome, Tina, for joining us.
Hey, everybody.
Your thoughts on that game?
We needed a win, and I thought we'd get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to Ryan from Arsbros Rant. Ryan, shout out to you. We wanted 9 points from these 3 games. We've got 6. And another win next time against West Ham will be very, very welcome. But I want to put this to everybody here. Lombard Camp's comments. Eddie was better today. So many people saying he won't make it at Arsenal. Personally, I think he will. As long as we have another prolific striker until Eddie's old enough, he can come good. And, I think that he has shown his quality today. Richard?
Yeah, I agree. I think he has got he's showing the potential. That's for sure. He's showing that he's got the capabilities to score goals. And he's a homegrown player coming through the academy side as well. So it proves that we've got a decent academy that can get youngsters.
What I really, really like is the man management of Arteta, that he is sticking with these players. We'll talk about Guendouzi in the second half as well. And he's come full circle, Guendouzi has, with Arteta, I believe. But keeping faith with Nketiah when he really should have had a goal last weekend, and just desserts he got this week with that goal against Everton. Matt Maher, your take on Lombard Camp's comments about Eddie?
Look, personally, I think he's too young. I think he's too young at the moment. But he's going to have even more opportunity. Under Arteta, a lot of these players have been man-managed very well. Richard, Alex, Glenn, Tony, we've discussed this in depth before. But we said as long as there's good man management, players can flourish. They can generally get better. And their incline will just go until it goes right through the roof. Players, the young players, all of them. I would love to see Reese at some stage also being introduced into the fold, but being one of those players, somebody like a Saka, where now
Reece
other players,
still injured?
I think he was on the bench. But what I'm saying is,
he was.
I'd love for these players to progress like Martinelli and Saka have had, and to continually keep it under the radar. We don't overhype them too much. We don't put too much pressure on them. Just let them play football, and you will see how well and what quality could come from these players, even in the future, right now and in the future.
London Old School, thanks for joining us. He thinks Eddie has got a chance of making a nice finish tonight. Alex, Eddie is benefiting from playing around experienced players in the forward positions.
Yeah, and I think so far, given the opportunities that he's been given, he's staking a claim. He's staking a claim. And in regards to longevity. Again, we want players not to have that feeling that they have a divine right to start in first 11 there. And so far, so good. Touch wood. I think we've got a nugget in Ketia. We just got to give him a good run out. Give him the chance that he's need there. Guys, I'm gonna have to go. My time's unfortunately
I was just about to prompt you.
Yeah, listen, Tony, thanks for subscribing to ArsenalTV. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Or is it Tina Turner?
Depends on the day.
All right, okay. Yeah. Guys, have a good evening, and I'll catch up with you guys very, very soon. Up
Thanks
the Arsenal.
Cheers. Great win today. Glenn, Nketiah is benefiting from playing around good players. A young player, but he's got older pros helping him.
Exactly, and Arsenal strikers have always had the pace. Andre, Righty, Aubameyang, and he quite has that. And only thing I can say, he needs to work on his strength. But the chances we've been slugging him off for missing, what I like about him is he gets himself into positions to score. So his position awareness is correct for now. So that is very important.
Tony, any thoughts on Nketiah before we move on into the second half?
I would have never loaned him out this season. I would have loaned out Nelson instead.
Right. Let me finish up the first half. I thought Ceballos had a very, very good game. Danny Ceballos.
Yes, very. Yeah, do you know what? He was one of my man of matches, and he made some really, really good interceptions. He was switching the play out to the wings as well to create us a bit of width as well. Not to try and invite the pressure onto us, but he was making sure that the midfield was ticking over. And I can't fault for the way he's playing at the minute. I would like to see Arsenal get him on a permanent deal. I really would, because I know people are saying Lucas Torreira and Granit Xhaka has been our best midfield pivot. But it's now proven that Dani Ceballos and Granit Xhaka also works together as a partnership. Dani Ceballos reminds me of Santi Cazorla, the way he used to play. Yeah. Used to come deep and release the ball quick and get onto the attack as soon as possible. And that's what he reminds me of. I just want Arsenal to tie him down. I really want Arsenal to go and get him on a permanent deal. And what I would do, if it was me, I would actually get Dani Ceballos on a permanent deal, and I would loan out Guendouzi. Sorry, but I would.
Yeah. Mahir, I agree with everything Richard said. Ceballos is able to move the ball quicker for us through midfield. And I think we're starting to see Pepe actually bedding in because of that. He needs quicker ball. A couple of times he could have been away to the races if Bellerin had slipped him in a little bit earlier. But Ceballos is becoming a vital part of the team in midfield. I feel a little bit sorry for Torreira, but this is competition. This is what competition for places looks like, Mahir.
Tony and Glenn, we were discussing a little bit earlier before we started. Shout out to everybody here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We were discussing earlier, we were actually saying how much impact Ceballos has on even somebody like Ozil, because Ozil is our creator. And in order for him to create quicker, he needs to be receiving quicker from the midfield. And just personally, I think Ozil, Torreira, Ceballos combination, the three of them in midfield, is absolutely eye-tearing. It's absolutely so beautiful to watch. Such forward, positive thinking football, all the time going side, not side as in sideways as we usually normally play last season, what we did, but sideways as in sideways but going forwards in order to go through to Pepe, in order to go through Martinelli, Lacazette, Ozil, get it to Aubameyang. And the goals are coming more easily that way.
Ceballos is a very, very good addition recently to our midfield now.
Yeah, exactly. And as Mahia said about Ceballos passing forward, actually before the goal, before the Aubameyang goal. He's actually the one who gave the ball to Luis. He spun someone and gave the ball to Luis for that pass. For Richard, I'd say I'd sign Ceballos, yes, but I wouldn't loan out Guendouzi because there are games like away to the big six, the Liverpool, the Tottenhams. You'd actually need to bench Ozil, push Ceballos forward, and bring in the likes of Torreira, Guendouzi for the other games. So I would keep them all. If they form a partnership between all those 5-6 midfielders, we can get something going.
Glenn, can I just counter that? Sorry, can I just counter what Glenn just said? The reason why I would loan out Guendouzi is because he falls around too easily. He falls around too easily, and I've noticed also with Guendouzi, and it's still the same. When he gets that ball, he's looking around. He's holding the ball too long. If you look at the way Torreira plays, you look at the way Ceballos plays, as soon as they get the ball, they already know where their player already is.
Yeah.
They're releasing it quicker. But what Guendouzi does, he slows the tempo down. And we don't want that if we want to counter-attack them.
And Richard,
but that can be worked on by Arteta.
That's why we saw Guendouzi introduced at that point, because we did need someone to hold on to the ball. And Guendouzi was the perfect player to hold on to the ball at that point. When you're trying to kill a game, Guendouzi is probably one of the better midfielders to bring into the fray to help us hold on to the ball.
But you can't have somebody like him too early. You can't have him like a full game because, like Richard said, he makes a lot of really stupid like giveaways. Like he'll give away the ball. Like were you thinking to yourself, if this team goes on the counter or puts a through ball in now, we're going to end up in a very dangerous situation, which is most likely us conceding a goal. And he makes these really sometimes stupid tackles also. I'm not bashing him. I like Guendouzi as a player, but like Richard said, I agree fully where he needs to get a bit more experience somewhere else with a different sort of idea of what goes on.
He's definitely, Tony, he's definitely lived a charmed life at Arsenal, never been loaned out. He's there with Aubameyang. He's there with his bros, Lacazette and Aubameyang. And things are pretty good for Guendouzi. He needs to appreciate life at Arsenal.
He hasn't had a hard time yet, but I still think all the coaching changes and everything else unsettle him because he's probably the brightest player the first 8-9 games out of a season.
Let's get toward the end of the first half, Richard. Arsenal have their tails up. They're playing really, really well at the end of the first half. And Everton obviously need to counter that intensity. We get a 50-50 ball with Bellerin on the touchline with Calvert-Lewin. The ball spills to Ceballos, and Richarlison comes in and cleans it out.
Yeah, just an overall view of that second half. You know, for Aubameyang to come out within the opening minutes of the second half to get the goal, I still wasn't at ease because I knew at 3-2, I was scared that we was going to concede a goal because it's happened before in the past. We've taken the lead and we've holded it on for a while. Next minute, last couple of minutes of the game, we concede a goal and then lose. Same thing, but
I feel that. The 80-something minute, right?
Yeah, but I feel in that second half, we took our foot off the gas. We was like 3-2, yeah, we're comfortable. We're not going to go and get another one. We're just going to sit back, defend, and keep possession for the rest of the game. And I think, for me, that was the worst move to make. You're at 3-2. If you really want to sit back and defend, go and get another goal first before you do that. Go and get another goal before you sit back, because then at least the other team has got to score 3 goals to win in the last couple of minutes. But I feel that's what we done. In that second half, we just took our foot off the gas.
Yeah.
We just didn't have to go and get another one.
To be fair, I think, Richard, that Everton are a decent team and they needed and wanted at least a point from the game as well, and they were always going to push us. Well, we are pretty close to each other in the league table right now. We actually leapfrogged above them. But they're a decent team under Ancelotti.
Yeah, very deep. And I even said in my preview, I said that, if Calvin Lewin and obviously Richarlison is going to be playing, the defenders have to be on top of their game. They have to watch them because if they're going to take their eye off the ball, we are going to concede goals, and it proved it today. Both players scored.
Richard, Richarlison was maybe lucky to stay on in the first half, or do I have my rose-tinted glasses on?
No, I don't see it as a red card. I think it was rightly given as a yellow.
Yeah,
it wasn't too rash to be given a red.
Right. It was just a intensity between the two teams trying to establish dominance. Glenn, let's get to this equalizing goal just before halftime. My notes are saying let's go in with a 2-1 lead at halftime, but that wasn't to be.
Yeah, yet another. We always, even under Emery, we used to concede right before halftime, even under Wenger. That thing we've never gotten rid of, conceding right before halftime. And for the first goal, Ceballos actually, when Richard just said Guendouzi gives out some silly free kicks and stuff. Also, Ceballos, I've noticed the last 3-4 games, he always gives out some silly free kicks, and that cost us the first goal. And for the second goal, the corner, it was, I think we gave away the ball and gave them the corner. And yes, it was a Leno mistake, obviously. But after that, Leno obviously recovered and probably saved us from drawing or losing that game.
Yeah, Mahir, the second goal for Everton just before halftime. I actually have my notes are Aubameyang tracks back, which was a feature of the whole game. Aubameyang tracking back, Pepe tracking back. I think it's something that Arteta likes. So they will get picked a lot of the time on the left wing and the right wing because they have that capability of coming back. But you can see the corner. The corner's flicked on. It's half cleared. The ball gets recycled back from a shot. It's kicked into the ground, scoops up into the air, flicked on, and just a scrappy, scruffy kind of goal that we concede right on halftime.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of different views on it, as in with our own eyes. Because, like with me, I personally saw it go through his leg. It looks like he actually fumbled the ball like he had in his hands. Could have done better.
Yeah.
And then it just dropped and fell between his legs. Like I was like, here we go again. Again, we scuff a lead. We go into a lead. We hold it for a long time, and we scuff it. But luckily, straight after that, as we go into second half, hello, first few seconds, hello, Aubameyang again, saving us. Ah, man.
Aubameyang
Good
bringing
time.
results, Tony. Second half goal.
Yeah, he's went to Giroud's heading school.
Yeah, he's starting to score some Giroud type goals. Richard, could he be Giroud in disguise?
Nah, do you know what? Aubameyang's world class, mate. He's different compared to Olivier Giroud. I'm not even putting Aubameyang in that same category as Olivier Giroud.
Of course, I will.
No way.
Of course, yes.
But do you know what? If you look at Everton's second goal, I don't see it as Lino's fault. I see it as a defensive error.
I see it
because they should have knew where the ball was coming in. They should have been more alert.
Yeah, it's that second ball. We're losing the first ball, Glenn, quite a lot on our set pieces. That second ball.
Yeah, I think I'd actually
to the defender.
I'd actually agree with Richard because the guy who assisted the ball to Richarlison was Yerry Mina, and Saka was the guy who was actually marking their best head of the ball. So I don't know how that one worked.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's my halftime thoughts. Set piece defending, not good. We scored 2 lovely goals by halftime. Conceded 2 scruffy goals. This is my rose-tinted glasses. Everton are practicing the dark arts. I think successful teams do this. So hopefully we can learn. I think we're learning a little bit more, Richard, as we go along to be a little bit more dabbling in the dark arts. But I think Everton were pretty good at that. And they walk the line just enough so the ref doesn't make that they don't cross the line, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that this set piece, for defending, I think it will improve over time. I think it will improve. And you know what? Mikel Arteta has proved it. You had people saying that David Luiz, Mustafi, and Socrates couldn't be coached. Well, Mikel Arteta has proved that wrong. They can be coached.
Yeah.
They can be coached.
Tony, he has taken some of our weakest links, Colonel Mustard, Xhaka. Who else you want to throw in there? And he's kind of improved those players to where they're becoming, integral parts, maybe not integral parts, but functional parts of the machine.
I think he's mainly improved. Mustafi, to me, Xhaka's still the same player.
Yeah, but I think Arteta likes his range of passing with Granit Xhaka.
Range of backward passing?
Range of sideways. Not only forward, sideways passing. Glenn, into the second half, that Aubameyang header we just talked about, we just touched on. A Pepe cross and a great header into the corner of the net.
Yeah, and I would like to know who actually won the ball in the middle of the park, because there's someone who won the ball and gave it to Pepe. And I don't know about you guys, because every time Pepe gets the ball, I always feel like something is going to happen. And I knew he was going to make something there. And just like last week, crossed the ball to Aubameyang, and that was a perfect header.
I think it was either Ozil or Xhaka. I know Xhaka was part of that sequence, Tony. Ozil, maybe, yeah. Like you said, Richard, Aubameyang is level on goals now with Jamie Vardy from Leicester.
Yeah.
Vardy hasn't scored in quite a few games.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the chance for Aubameyang to overtake him. I said it even before the season started. I said that Aubameyang is going to get the Golden Boot this season, and I stand on that. He will get the Golden Boot. And as I said to you before, I just wish that Aubameyang was 10 years younger. If he was 10 years younger, I've got no doubt he would beat Henry's record. No doubt in my mind he would do.
Yeah.
Even just a few years younger. Maybe even 5 years younger.
Yeah.
This trajectory right now. Crazy.
Mahir.
But do you know what? Ray, before you go on, I just wanted to say, I don't know if any of the panel has actually noticed with Mikel Arteta, but I noticed it at the Newcastle game, that if you look at the way we're setting up, it's like we've got the two centre backs, and then you automatically see Saka and Bellerin out on the wings up into the halfway line. So we're playing with width. And then if you look at it gives the right for Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, Ceballos, Xhaka to move just that little bit further up. It's exactly the same like Man City were playing. Why Mikel Arteta was there.
I did notice that because we actually got caught a little bit by Everton at times on 2-on-2 situations where David Luiz and Colonel Mustard were our only defenders back. So a couple of hair-raising moments throughout the game. I'm going to point out a great save from Brian Leno in the 73rd minute. Cross comes in, it's knocked down Calvin Lewin, and point blank save by here.
Yeah, straight in front of the keeper. How beautiful is it that we have the third best? It's quite easy to say we have the third best keeper in the league right now.
And Richard, you could even make a case for second best keeper in the league, maybe.
Well, I still say Alisson and Edison are the top two.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with my here. I said to you before we came on air, I said that Bernd Leno is probably one of the most underrated keepers in the league. No disrespect to David De Gea, but he's a great goalkeeper. But in terms of current form this season, Bernd Leno is right up there amongst the top 3 goalkeepers in the league. And I think other teams better start taking note and don't underestimate Leno, because he is a world-class goalkeeper.
Yeah, Glenn, a world-class goalkeeper has saved us on 2 occasions, the 73rd and 88th minute.
Exactly. In technicality, I would agree with Mahia, he could be the third. But in short stopping, you could make an argument for him to be the first. I think
definitely had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
I think De Gea and Leno are better ball savers than Alisson and Ederson. Even the likes of Fabianski, those keepers are better at shot stopping. But in general, you'd say it's the second. And when Calvert-Lewin got that ball, I thought he was offside. I even thought maybe the goal would be disallowed. But after seeing the replay, he was actually onside. So that was a top save. And after making, Richard has said it wasn't his mistake, but after that fault in the first half, to pick himself up and save us still for the game, really good.
Yeah. Of course, Tony, if Alisson or Edson had faced the amount of shots that Leno had this season, we could be looking at the best goalkeeper as being the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think he's probably the best goal stopper there is out there right now.
Richard, I can only remember one mistake really from Bernd Leno, the Chelsea game at home.
Yeah, that's the only mistake that I can account him for. Yes, the only mistake. Apart from that, he's picked himself up, and he's proving to everyone that he's going to be a world-class goalkeeper in years to come. And do you know what? I reckon that what he does need to work on is his distribution just a little bit better. And obviously he's kicking. That's one of the things he needs to work on a little bit. And I think he might need to take note from Martinez, because I think Martinez, he's our second best goalkeeper in our team. I'm happy with him being our second choice because his distribution is a little bit better than Leno's, and his kicking is a little bit better than Leno's as well. But I reckon in time Leno will improve on that.
Shout out to RK Sweetie for joining us. And Lumberg Camp, you bring up a point I wanted to make a little bit earlier. Mustafi has had 4 good games now. He thinks he's Aguero. I didn't know who this player was with the colored hair. What I saw was Mustafi. He was like, fuck's sake, you're giving me gray hair. Look at your performance.
He looks like the real. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking the real Slim Mustafi, because he looks like the real Slim Shady with that hair, though. Like Marshall Mathers.
But fair play to him, Tony. Colonel Mustard has done quite well in those 4 games.
Yeah, Colonel Mustard's got a 7 in each of the last 4 games.
But the team was giving me gray hairs, Lumberg Kemp, not necessarily Mustafi, because he's done quite well. Richard, let's talk about what the development of this team, because every team needs to go through difficult moments. Like Arteta said in his first press conference, when the tree starts shaking, he wants to find out what his team is like. And we were a little bit rocky, but never to the extent that you would have seen under Emery only a few short months ago.
No, and I just think under Mikel Arteta, I think our whole team mentality is improving as well. We would go in like under Unai Emery, we would be 1-0 down, and then all of a sudden the players be like, "That's it, game over, done, dusted. See you later. We're going to lose." But now when we go 1-0 down, they're like, "Right, come on, let's restart. Let's get back onto it again." So they're not dropping their heads anymore, and that's what I like to see. They're all playing for each other as well. Because like Arteta said, that he wants to have the players to have that connection, and he wants the fans to have it as well, so we can all reunite as one, and that's how it should be.
Always should always be that way.
But I still think in the summer. Yes, Mustafi's playing well, but I still think we do need another centre back. Yeah. We do need another centre back. I know we've got William Saliba that's out on loan to say, and he's an absolute beast over there, and I cannot wait to see him come in at Arsenal. Cannot wait. But his best partnership, I would like him to play alongside Upper Makana in the summer if we go and get him.
I'll have to do that if at all possible. A testament to the team that under Emery we would have folded, and we lost that goal in the first minute. But I'm thinking we have the whole game. I was pretty calm about it. Obviously, you don't want a goal to go against you, but we can get a goal back. It was in those first 20 minutes I was really worried that we were going to concede a second goal. Since that didn't happen, the team was able to fight back. But in the second half, under Emery, we would have really been rocking in that kind of game.
Yeah, but like we said many times before, like Richie just said now, what happened in an old side, right? An old side, as soon as we concede, that's it. Everybody's head is lost. They drop their heads and they think to ourselves, oh, we've lost. Done. Game over and done with. Even if it was like this in the opening first few minutes, then the floodgates open for the opposition for them to score a second and a third. And by that time, we drop our, like, you understand what happens when you go into a depression, as per se.
Yeah.
It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse to a point where people are like, this Arsenal side is absolutely garbage. Calling calling out even our superstars as garbage because we've lost due to all of the players dropping their heads. But under Mikel Arteta, he's changed the mentality. He's changed his
Yeah.
experience with formation, his man management. Overall, he's bettering the team. He's even uniting the fans because even we are seeing that this right here means means the world to everybody that supports the Arsenal. And that's what he's doing, basically changing everything.
So, Glenn, we talked about the team sort of losing its way a little bit in the second half. Everton are putting the pressure on. My notes say in the 68th minute, Laka time, bring Laka on. And probably 10 minutes later, I say something like that as well in my notes because I know I write it somewhere else. At this point, Saka's starting to lose some balls in midfield and not being as mighty as Saka usually has been.
Exactly, and it was really surprising to see. He lost the ball 3 times and he almost conceded from all the 3 shots. So I would also say under Emre, we used to, as Mahia said, fall into a depression state when you concede and fall into a depression state and you think you wouldn't score yourselves. But even under Arteta, today we did concede more shots than we took to their goal. So you'd still feel like even when they're taking the shots, we still felt like we could score another one. So that is an improvement from the Emre era. We never used to score goals under Emre. So right now we still feel like we can score goals. And the 60th minute, as you've said, you're thinking about Lacazette. I actually thought Arteta waited too long today to bring in someone. He waited until the 75th minute, and it looked like he would concede before he brings someone on. So that was worrying.
Yeah, my notes say 68 minutes, bring Lacazette on. 78 minutes, so it's exactly 10 minutes later, Tony, that I want to bring Lacazette on. But Ozil comes off and Guendouzi comes on in the 82nd minute. Yep.
Yeah. I would have brought Lacazette on in about the 60th minute.
We go then, Richard, we go and play 4-3-3 with that formation. And like we mentioned with Guendouzi, he's a perfect player. While he's frustrating to hold on to the ball, you kind of need him in this situation at 3-2. You want to close the game out. My notes say after 78 minutes, we're starting to play keep ball. So we need Guendouzi to be part of that.
Do you know what, to be honest? No, even at 3-2, I still wasn't comfortable. I still wasn't comfortable at all. Not even with Guendouzi on the field. I still wasn't comfortable. You know, for me, I think Lacazette would have been the better option to come on because I felt at that moment we could have still gone and got another goal.
Yeah.
We still could have gone and got another goal.
Because my notes say here 2 minutes afterwards, I'm still nervous. I am nervous by here.
There was one point, I don't know if you guys saw, but Aubameyang received the ball on the left-hand side, right? And he actually ran, and I thought, okay, you guys are going to go close the game off, put the nail in the coffin, put this game to bed. And he just seemed to come to a complete halt. And, like, they were playing keep away, but I was like, you guys were, like, right there. Like, didn't you want to just make that extra meter and run into the box and attempt a shot, which... coming from Aubameyang, coming from Saka, coming from Lacazette, that's 4-2. That's like, okay, guys, it's done. It's done, completely done now. But I think, I don't know, we get complacent far too quickly sometimes. And would rather defend a 1-0 goal, a 1-0 advantage. But like we saw during the last 10 minutes, guys, Glenn, Tony, you guys saw with your own eyes how dangerous that last 10 minutes was. There was a Calvert-Lewin header that went wide. There was a
Yeah.
Calvert Burnley. If he hadn't pulled off that save, it could have been 3-3 as well. And we would have been here tonight like, why? Why after a good run of form? Could we not win the game? But luckily enough,
I was actually thinking about scenarios for this podcast. Are we going to win 4-2? Are we going to get pegged back for 3-2, but still be upbeat and say, well, we played really, really well for 86 minutes or whatever it was? Yeah, it was my scenarios were going through my head, Tony, at that point.
Yeah, that's the first game in a while I was constantly nervous that we would allow a goal.
Especially in the latter parts of the second half. So,
But Ray, do you know what? Ray, before you go on, do you know what I would have done? If it was me, then what I would have done, if I knew we was only at 3-2 and I knew that we could see that we could have got another goal, that's when I would have made a change. I would have taken Nketiah off, brought on Lacazette. But what I would have done is until we got that fourth goal, then I would have brought on Lucas Torreira and play a bit more defensive.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. Because then at least I knew that if I'm 4-2 up, at least I'm a little bit more comfortable than, they've got to score 2 goals in the last 10 minutes.
And in the 75th minute, Ceballos comes off and Torreira comes on. And Richard, we get what could be the opportunity to seal the game. We have a high press with Guendouzi and particularly pressing the goalkeeper and Torreira nicking the ball away from the defender on the edge of the box. And Nketiah gets that shot off. It hits the crossbar.
Yeah, very unlucky. Very, very unlucky. I think he stroked that spot on, but he was just unlucky just to hit the crossbar.
And
very unlucky.
Maher, now that we're thinking about it, Nketiah's hit the bar on consecutive weekends. And he's hit the bar against Newcastle and now against Everton. But he did get that goal, a lovely goal.
Yeah.
Beautiful goal. Beautiful goal. And he was very
after that lovely cushion finish. That's almost Henry-esque as well. Just
almost based as well. Thing about hitting the post also, I mean, I think he deserved a goal from, I think it was the Olympiacos game, he deserved a goal. And Newcastle, he deserved a goal as well.
So Glenn, you can't say that he's not pulling his own weight here. If people are going to be clamoring for Lacazette to start, Eddie Nketiah is playing well enough to stay in the team.
It definitely is. That was meant to be a goal. That was a very, very good strike. It was from an Everton mistake, but it deserved the goal. And I hear say they saw Aubameyang running to just stopping in the 90th minute just to pass the ball back. I also noticed Nketiah running to the corner flag in the 89th minute. So one thing I would say, Arsenal is not the kind of team that can shut up shop. So we really needed a fourth goal. Like the Chelsea of 2005, where we can say, okay, 3-2, we can defend this. You'll always fancy us to concede.
You're right, man.
8 openings.
Arsenal is not that team that can close it out, but hopefully we're learning. Confidence comes slowly, as Arsene Wenger used to say, and leaves very, very quickly. But I want to give a big shout out to Boots TX. Thanks for joining us, Boots. Maher was actually talking to me about this earlier. I blew it off as paper talk. How does the panel feel about Saka saying he won't sign a new deal if Arsenal don't get into a European tournament? Glenn?
That is really tough. I mean, by European competition, does it mean if we get into the Europa League, it's fine, or is he talking about Champions League?
He's talking about European competition, right, Maher?
Yeah, both. So the realistic scenario, if it's true, right? We're saying that how can a youngster, as good a form as he's been in, threaten or have these demands when we've just started to include him in our squad as of recent, maybe 3-4 weeks or 5 weeks ago. We've given him his shot. If it's just paper talk, it's absolute rubbish that they're trying to. We know there are big teams circling around getting Saka as he hasn't been signed to a new contract. But even Lacazette joked. I don't know if you guys saw the Instagram post where I think somebody said something like Lacazette, oh, strong game. And then he said, yeah, nice one, Laka, nice one, bro. And then he said, just sign the thing. Sign the thing. Triple his wages and get him with us, because there's two scenarios here, guys. Either rubbish, complete paper talk, BS, or if it's true.
Let me put that to Richard, because I mean, I know what the sun is like. I know what the mirror. I know what those rags are like, Richard, and you know as well.
Yeah. Do you know what my take on? I know that every professional player wants European football. I get that. But I think, to be honest, like I'm not saying he should be thinking about European football at the moment for next season. I've got no doubt that we can get European football, but it's down to us until the end of the season to be consistent, and he has to play a part in that. So if he wants that European competition, he has to be part of it. Yeah. He has to be part of it, and he needs to be consistent. Don't get me wrong; the performances that he's put in, he deserves a pay rise. He deserves a pay rise.
Absolutely,
because he's putting in 110% in every game, and there's other players that are now seeing him, and he's now a threat to them.
Yeah.
Tina Turner, what's your take on all of this Saka newspaper stuff?
Who can blame him if Manchester United and Liverpool sniffing around, and looks like we still might not get into Europe? But I really don't believe that it's true, though.
All right, you bring me perfectly on to the next section. Everybody look at the bottom of the ticker tape. Shows the form table from the last 7 games, the start of the year. Glenn, we have taken the most points out of these 5 teams. This is the race for top 5.
Yeah, and we've actually, from those games, it's not like we've played the likes of Watford and Norwich. We've actually been playing Chelsea away. We've played Chelsea twice since I think December. Some really tough games.
Sheffield United,
exactly.
Paris.
Exactly, and that form table doesn't lie, because we've deserved it. We've definitely improved. We've kept a few clean sheets here and there, tough away grounds like Burnley, and we are scoring goals now, 2s and 3s every week. So that definitely doesn't lie. And we actually have some really good fixtures coming up, so we might be leading that form table for at least 2 more months.
Yeah. Richard, I'm going to come to you next. We're 4 points off 5th place right now.
Yeah. Look, I reckon that top 5 is in our sights to go and get. And to be honest, now we're picking up picking up 3 points. It's down to us to be consistent. So if any of those teams that are above us and they lose points, we need to capitalize on it. We need to, because if they drop points and then we drop points, then we've only got ourselves to blame, because it's there. It's in our hands to go and get it. But I know Mikel Arteta has been saying that he's taking 1 game at a time, which is right to do, because with the big games coming up, we've got Wolves coming up soon. Then we've got Liverpool, we've got Spurs, we've got Aston Villa, we've got Watford, and they're going to be some tough games.
Yeah. So our next league games, we have 11. All teams have 11 games left. Manchester City away, which is going to be postponed, but then West Ham at home, Brighton away, Southampton away, Norwich home. I think that's Leicester at home, Spurs away, Liverpool at home, which is a marquee game, Villa away, and Watford at home. It's relatively easy to start off with, but then we get into our April is going to be tough, Richard.
Yeah, it will be. There is one game that I'm concerned about, and that's that Southampton game, because Southampton, when we go away to St Mary's, we don't have a good record there. We really don't, and they're one of our bogey teams. So it's not going to be easy to go and get a result there. But I think under Mikel Arteta, I think we can go and get a result.
Glenn, in the short term, in the next few games, we're going to play West Ham, Brighton, and Southampton. Brighton and Southampton away. Teams like Manchester United, they have to play Everton away, City at home, Tottenham away. So these 5 teams are going to take points off of each other, and we are probably not going to be in the firing line too much. I know we play Wolves, but all these other teams are going to have to play each other as well.
Exactly, and to add to that, the likes of Tottenham are going to play Wolves. So those games, imagine if you had to take 9 points from 9, that would take you up to like 6th or 5th. And even after that, after the international break, we still have very easy games against Norwich. Another very easy game away to Tottenham, very easy game. I stress on that one. So if you manage to get, if you can get a run of even 5 wins in a row, and with those teams playing each other, we should really, I hope it doesn't end up like last season, because last season we also said we have an easy end to the season, and we blew it against Wolves, against Leicester, against Brighton at home, Crystal Palace at home. So just to take you back about Saka, I hope Saka doesn't end up like Niles, because I really don't like when these young players come and they feel like they've made it, because I feel like Niles came into the team, he was ahead of all these other youngsters, and he felt like he made it, and he stopped giving 100%. So I don't want Saka to end up like that, getting money and now getting comfortable in the team, and so I need him to work more.
But Glenn, do you know what? To that actually, Maitland-Niles, he was actually playing well until he got dropped. I don't understand why Maitland-Niles got dropped, because he was actually playing quite well at right back.
Yeah, but I was talking about last season. Remember last season, the way we ended the season, there's a time he got a red card. Even in the preseason, there's an own goal he scored away to Barcelona. So I felt like he got comfortable into the team. So we've only played him at right back this season because we didn't have any other players to play. But definitely he was playing well before he got dropped.
Booth said, remember when we had the easiest final run of 8 games and we dropped nearly all of them? We got to take these games very seriously.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm thinking that it's different, hoping it's different circumstances. Here's a question from myself. Richard, which team do you fear the most of these other 4 teams that we're racing against? Manchester United, Spurs, Sheffield United, or Wolves?
Do you know what? I don't really want to underestimate Sheffield United, because they've been really, really consistent this season, really good. Spurs, I don't really fear whatsoever. You know, I know all the Arsenal, some of the Arsenal fans say, "Oh, what Jose Mourinho?" But then, to be honest, Jose Mourinho, if you said that having Jose Mourinho, you know, when he was in his Chelsea days, I wouldn't have took him. But it's the same Jose Mourinho that was at Man United. It's the same Jose Mourinho, you know, that didn't have that much of a good run at Man United. So I'm not scared of Tottenham whatsoever. And to be honest, we should not be afraid of these teams that are above us. As I said, what we need to do when they drop points, we need to capitalize on it. And we need to think about ourselves, not worry about the other teams.
Yeah, Glenn, same
exactly,
question.
Exactly, and to add to that, that was exactly what I was going to say. The only team we can fear is ourselves. We are the only ones who can drop this momentum from now, because Tottenham have their 2 best strikers out injured. Mourinho is having some issues with Dele Alli, I think, and Man U, they are missing Rashford. Yes, they're playing well with Bruno Fernandes, but they have some tough games coming up against City and the rest. I know Richard has said he's concerned about Sheffield, but also then they have some tough fixtures. And I think experience would come to the table. I don't really think they have experience of this part of the season to qualify for the Champions League. So the only team we can face ourselves. If we get the wins, we are probably gonna get past those teams, because they have some really hard fixtures and injuries. Yeah.
Tony.
We just need to focus on who we play each week and hope that the results go our way on the other teams. But Manchester United's the team I would be the most worried about.
Yeah, they're starting to maybe get it together, and Martial scored a nice goal today. I was like, a little bit of salsa right there. Mahir, out of
Yeah.
Spurs, Man United, Sheffield United, Wolves, and Arsenal, who do you think is the best equipped? Who do you think is the best equipped to trouble us?
Probably Arsenal. Arsenal will be the best people to trouble us. Yeah.
A little bit what Glenn's saying. We can only be our own worst enemy at this point.
Exactly.
We're
We're
unbeaten.
taking
We're
we're gonna be
unbeaten
taking
here this
one
decade.
game at a time. Yeah,
We're
unbeaten. One game at a time. One game at a time. If
Yep.
we focus on what we're doing and not focus on, oh, this one needs to lose, the Shite need to lose, Banta FC need to lose. Let's just focus on ourselves. Let's go after all these teams who are ahead of us and not show any fear. What do we have to lose, guys? We've got absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah.
See, and you know what, Ray Boots just put in the comment where he said that he fears Wolves as well. Do you know what? They're doing very well in Europa League as well. They got a good 4-0 win against Espanyol, and I wasn't expecting that from them. I really wasn't. And he's even put Sheffield United. Chris Wilder's a good manager.
Yeah.
Very good.
Really, really underrated. We've dropped to 13th at our worst position. We are in 9th place right now. Richard, I kind of want to keep this podcast going, but we're kind of coming to the end of its life now.
Yeah.
Because I want to keep the good times rolling here. But just summarize what this win means for you, what you think it means for the team, Richard.
Well, do you know what? I think it's a boost of morale for the team in terms of the wins that we've got so far. It's a boost for them, boost of confidence as well to take into our next game, which obviously we've got Olympiacos on Thursday. So it's a boost for that, and I think that's also a must-win game because it's only 1-0. And if we defend like we have been in patches, we will concede those 2 goals in the first half by them.
Yeah.
Because Olympiacos has a very, very good away record. But I think for me, I'm happy that we've got the win, and I'm happy in terms of the way Arteta is managing the team. Very happy. Because he's got the team playing together. He's got the team fighting for each other. I've got no complaints, and all the fans and some of the fans that are saying that they want Arteta out, get in the bin, because you clearly still want Unai Emery as manager.
Talking a whole lot of baloney. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, Tony, I'm feeling Mourinho was never an option for Arsenal for me. I'm feeling somewhat soothed by the way things are going right now. They are a ticking time bomb over there, White Hart Lane. And
our players' mentality always thought he'd be the worst choice possible for us.
Yeah. Let's touch on Arteta's managing of the players as well. I talked about it a little bit earlier, Mahir, with Guendouzi. He had that trouble out in Dubai with one of the coaches, but it seems like that's being forgotten pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes things are patched up really quickly, or there's just, there's a lot of smoke. People like creating headlines in order to fight with each other. It was a big bust up with Guendouzi, but for all we know, they could have just made that up. Even if it was true, however, right now, the way Arteta is managing people, it goes to more than on the field. I'm talking about even off the field. Even telling the players, Richard and Tony, even telling the players rather stay off social media because you may get caught up there as well, listening to people who are talking absolute shite.
Hey, Richard. So Lombard Camp said the players shouldn't be allowed to look at the league table. Just play for the win every time. If they saw us anywhere near top four, they shit the bed and bottle it.
Yeah, and do you know what? And to be honest, I agree. Don't look at. If I was those players, I wouldn't be looking at the table. Just focus at the games at hand.
Just keep playing.
Focus game by game. Focus on getting the team up the table.
Richard,
Just focus on that.
I'm loving everything that Arteta is doing. He's making weak players, weak mentality. He's playing to their strengths. He is accentuating their strengths and decreasing their weaknesses. The only one thing I would like Arteta to do is to do what Frank Lampard does and really get out there in the stadium when we win a game and go and G up the crowd and have a bigger sense of euphoria when we win a game.
Do you know what? I don't know. I'm happy with. I'm happy with the way Arteta is getting the fans united together when we win games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because even though we won games under Unai Emery, we still wasn't happy because the performances wasn't that great. I know the only thing is, like, I even said, I done a post-match reaction of the Olympiacos game as well. I don't think overall that first leg away from home was all that. I think it was an overall poor performance.
Yep.
But the only thing is, you can have a striker that plays 89 minutes very poorly, but when the opportunity comes to score a goal, you forget the whole 89 minutes. You forget it because he's got the winning goal.
Yeah. And Boots, Stan has just said Arteta's a hugger, so all good. But yeah, I would.
But Ray, do you know what? The only thing is with Arteta, when we win games, he likes to praise the players.
Yeah.
He's even come out when we haven't played well. He's even come out and said that was poor.
Do you think, Richard, that his man management is better long term than maybe Frank Lampard's, who, he's congratulating the players, but he's also going to the crowd as well? Do you think there's any difference there between the two coaches? Very, very small.
To be honest, I think with Mikel Arteta and Frank Lampard is going over to the fans because he was once a Chelsea player.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Mikel Arteta was also an Arsenal player.
Mm-hmm.
But Arteta is more focusing on the team and getting us better in the long run.
Yeah.
Making sure that we are organised as a defensive unit and making sure that we are not conceding as many goals or as many shots as we have done in the past.
Yeah. Tony, what's your take on what we've been talking about in the last few minutes?
I don't think it really matters too much as keep the players playing, and I don't think it matters that he's out in the stands trying to greet the fans or not.
What do you think of Arteta's man management with Guendouzi?
I still think he needs to be playing more.
Guendouzi?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that, things have been forgotten. Things are moving on. It's not interrupted with the way we're doing things this season.
Look, things can get very disruptive now, but you need to find a way to put everything into perspective, as per se. As long as the players know that this badge means the world to us all, and like right now, what do we have to lose? Sorry if I sound like a broken tape recorder, but what do we have to lose right now? Absolutely nothing. You know what? It isn't good, bro.
Yeah.
Because if the players don't even look at the table and just go all out, all guns blazing,
like Lombard Camp said,
a run of games with us, especially. Other teams are playing each other. Wolves, for example, will play Sheffield United. A Man City may play a Tottenham or a Liverpool. Whereas we are playing West Ham, we are playing Brighton, we're playing Norwich. Not saying that these games are easy.
No, we gotta take care of business.
For our team, surely we should be picking up max points. We're going into every game now, one game at a time, saying, right, just fight. Fight and get those 3 points by any means necessary. And we've got a slight chance of getting that 5th spot, getting back into Champions League, signing some quality. Upamecano, for example. There's a lot of other names, guys.
Mhm.
Listen, I want to thank everyone for coming in. Richard, just give me your quick summary of everything that's going on, and we'll get out of here.
Well, I'm very happy in terms of the way the game turned out today. All it was just set pieces that let us down.
Hard check.
Yeah. The only thing what was important that the players, they showed fight. When you show fight and you play for that badge, all the fans will remember the name on the back of their shirts.
Yeah. Tony, it was definitely a gut check as well as a heart check today.
I think it's one of the most complete 90-minute performances we played, but it's still scary the defense the whole time, especially with Bellerin back there. He's still way out of form.
I think we're going to see that Everton are a decent team, and they gave us a very, very stern test today. I think we came through. We passed the test in terms of Arteta talking about when the tree starts to shake, will we still be okay? And I think that happened today. And the things that Arteta's been working with the players on the pitch, on the training field, came to pass, and we got through our situations. It wasn't pretty at sometimes, here, but we got there. 3 wonderful goals from 2 great strikers, one for the future and one that we should enjoy for the present right now, and 2 scruffy goals against us. But we'll take it. 3 points, here.
Yeah, I just want to last word from you that Richard, Tony, loved having you guys on. You guys are part of our family here over at Gun News, and we really appreciate all your support, along with all our subscribers. And I just want you guys to have a blessed and lovely week, and let nobody trouble you. Have a nice. Thank you, right?
I can't find a better comment than Michael Watson. Thanks for joining us. Unfortunately, we're closing the show out, but this is a great comment, Michael. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Really appreciate it. But your comment is so happy with Mikel in just a few months. So much improvement. Saliba in next year and a few Mikel signings. Then good times ahead next year. Eddie reminds me of Righty, a natural poacher. And he's just new around here. So join us every week, Michael. We are here every Sunday. I want to say a big shout out to Tony for joining us once again, Tina Turner, Colonel Mustard's buddy, and Glenn Kitely. Check him out on YouTube. And Mahir, my co-host, say goodbye. And finally, Richard, shout out your channel as well, Richard.
Yeah, man, my channel's ArsenalTV, and I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers, and I've got 857 as it stands.
I love the production.
Up to 1,000. Do it for the family.
I love the production of your videos as well, Richard. So check that out, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. This has been a nerve-wracking win, but 3 points nonetheless. We're closer to those 9 points that we talked about last week. One more win against West Ham will give us 9 points. We will close the gap on the top 5 if we keep getting wins. One game at a time, right? This is the Arsenal Fan Circle. Check us out every weekend on Sunday. And until next time, friends, we will see you. Come on, you Gooners. Up the Arsenal.